New tonight on KGW News, should striking workers get unemployment?
When workers choose to strike, they shouldn't be starved.
How Oregon is close to making it happen and who would have to pay for it. Plus, 15 years ago today, Kyron Horman disappeared.
The reality is super simple.
Why his mother told KGW she's confident one person will finally face charges. Then,
we want people to obey the law, sure, but we want the government to obey the law too.
Protesters push for answers on an asylum seeker suddenly arrested by ICE at a local courthouse. And later, how a grocery store found itself dealing with one giant shoplifter. Welcome to the news. I'm David Molko. We begin at 11 with new anger and calls for everyone to follow the letter of the law after ICE agents arrested a woman seeking asylum inside a federal courthouse. Catherine Cook was at a rally in Vancouver tonight as the woman's lawyers fight to return her to Oregon. Catherine?
And David, they held signs that said, "Stop arresting our neighbors." But what really makes them mad is where this person was taken into custody. In downtown Vancouver, demonstrators demanded due process for all. They chanted support for immigrants, and they pointed fingers at ICE.
And pretty soon they're knocking on our door for something we don't know we even did. So I think we have to nip this in the bud.
Elton Billings and his wife Christine were stunned over what happened in Portland Monday. ICE agents detained an asylum seeker from Mexico after she left a hearing in federal court. The woman's lawyer says she was seeking asylum and safety in the U.S. after men in a Mexican cartel raped and threatened to kill her because she's transgender. For the Billings, the case feels very personal. They have a transgender daughter, and Christine is an immigrant.
I couldn't stand the idea that they were taking somebody who was already in the process of seeking asylum and who had moved here to find safety and just disappearing her.
We want people to obey the law, sure, but we want the government to obey the law too.
ICE agents are following a Trump administration policy that allows them to detain people in courthouses. Attorneys for the woman say it appears this case is the first of its kind in Portland.
So she complied with all the rules here. She applied for asylum. She attended her court date as required by the government. And then ICE is engaging in this unethical tactic to trick people.
I think it will happen another time here unless more people protest and speak up.
Attorneys for the asylum seeker filed a federal petition asking a judge to bring her back from a detention center in Tacoma and continue her case in Oregon. They say what agents did Monday violated her rights to due process. DHS and ICE have until Thursday to respond. In the meantime, the Billings have long-term concerns.
And I lived under martial law in the Philippines, and I can see all the signs that are happening here of martial law and a dictatorship.
In a statement to KGW, the Department of Homeland Security said ICE is following the law and, quote, placing illegal aliens in expedited removal. They noted that if they have a valid, credible fear claim, they'll continue immigration proceedings. But if not, they'll be subject to swift deportation. David.
Well, we'll see how they respond tomorrow. Thanks, Catherine. In an update tonight, investigators searching for a Washington father suspected of killing his 3 daughters said they have received many tips about Travis Decker's whereabouts, but so far have not found him. Their search is largely focused on forests in central Washington because of Decker's survival training, with the Chelan County Sheriff saying Decker has previously lived off the grid for months. Authorities believe he may have scoped out the area and planted resources in advance. The bodies of Decker's daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, ages 9, 8, and 5, were found close to a campground near Leavenworth earlier this week.
A lot of our guys are working with sleep deprivation, but their thoughts are always on the girls and making sure that we're staying motivated and getting the results the family expects out of us. But our primary goal is to track him down. Of course, we want to make sure that he's safe, but ultimately he will be brought to justice.
Losing a child is tough, but losing 3, no, no mother should have to go through that.
And this evening, a memorial in Wenatchee, where the girls were from, continues to grow. Get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Battleground police have identified a suspect in a double homicide that left 2 people dead inside a home. Investigators say 40-year-old Evaristo Jr. Vela was found critically injured inside that house on Tuesday morning. I believe he killed 2 people in their 30s. The police chief says at least 2 of the 3 people involved are family members, though it is not clear exactly who. An 18-year-old has pleaded guilty to attempted murder for a shooting outside the Clackamas Town Center last year. Pedro Cornejo Morales admitted he shot a 15-year-old in the hand in the mall parking lot last December. As part of a plea deal, he will serve 7.5 years in prison. A second suspect is scheduled for trial in August. And new tonight, a class action lawsuit accuses grocery outlet stores of deceptive pricing in Oregon. Nonprofit Oregon Consumer Justice alleges the discount grocer uses elsewhere price labels that are fabricated and not connected to an actual competing store. The labels make it look like you're saving money compared to other retailers, but the lawsuit claims consumers are often paying the same or more than they would at stores nearby. KGW's reached out to Grocery Outlet for comment, but we have yet to hear back. Okay, let's take you outside on this Wednesday. 59 degrees in the Rose City on a day when we saw some aggressive drizzle before the clouds cleared out and the sun re-emerged. Matt Savino's here with what's on tap for Thursday. Hey there, Matt.
Yeah, the sun came out this afternoon. It was really quite nice at sunset. Here's the Oregon coast. You notice the northerly winds there blowing that marine layer of cloud cover to the south, and that's usually an indication that we're going to have some good weather ahead, and we will for the next couple of days. Then we go into the weekend, and it's going to get hot, about 90 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday. So because of that, it's our first 90-degree weather of the year. We're calling for weather impact alerts for those 2 days. Moderate heat risk. It's not a severe or extreme heat event, but it will be moderate. Try to stay hydrated. Try to not overexert yourself, especially on Sunday when we get our warmest temperatures. But on Saturday, of course, we have the Grand Floral Parade. It'll be sunny. It'll be very warm. Parade time temperature's not bad at all. 74 to 81. Winds will be light, but make sure you have sunscreen, maybe a hat, stay hydrated because of the very, very warm and sunny conditions that we will have all weekend long. Right now in Portland, clouds are rolling in again. It's 59 degrees. We'll let you know what tomorrow looks like after the break, David.
Oh, thanks, Matt. See you in a few minutes. New tonight, Oregon is now one step closer when it comes to allowing workers to collect unemployment benefits at the same time they are on the picket lines. Elma McCarty has the update.
At the request of state labor leaders, lawmakers took up the issue.
This bill says that after 2 weeks of being on strike, striking workers would then become eligible for unemployment insurance.
And after months of testimony, readings, and recommendations in Salem, on Wednesday, Senate Bill 916B passed the House.
I lobbied for this bill big time, had a lot of conversations with my colleagues, did all that I could to get them to a place of yes.
Representative Travis Nelson's time as a registered nurse and a former union rep fueling his desire to make this bill law.
What I have experienced over the years is hospital systems dragging their feet, not putting their best proposals forward, really frustrating the nurses.
By extending unemployment benefit eligibility to striking workers, House Democrats say it removes tactics by large employers to wait out workers until their savings are depleted.
It definitely can help to keep a light bill paid. It can definitely help to keep food on the table.
House Republicans, however, have a different view of the bill.
I'm just not a fan of unemployment insurance for public employees.
Representative Lucetta Elmer explains she'd prefer a law more closely resembling that of Washington state, with a cap of 6 weeks of benefits rather than 26. She's also concerned about the classroom.
To take those dollars away from our kids, I just fundamentally am really struggling with that.
Because teachers don't pay into the state's unemployment insurance fund, districts would have to cover those costs should their educators go on strike.
I'm not trying to harm any employee or say they don't have the right to, go after the money that they want to go after, but this isn't the way to do it.
Now, as for next steps, the bill will go back to the Oregon Senate to approve some added amendments. We reached out to the governor, who says she plans to sign it. Her team writing the decision to strike isn't taken lightly, and the governor believes the bill will not create more strikes, as opponents claim. David?
Thanks, Alma. Appreciate the update. Well, meanwhile, Oregon lawmakers are also in the middle of a high-stakes debate over how to fund the future of transportation. Today, some Democrats proposed some changes that Republicans say Oregonians simply cannot afford. Democrats' $1.9 billion transportation package now includes a payroll tax increase, a new gas tax, and higher vehicle registration fees to fund transit and road repairs. For comparison, a Republican proposal from April does not raise taxes and instead cuts around $730 million from programs like passenger rail, bicycle, and pedestrian paths.
Republicans' proposal provides accountability, it narrows the focus back to core mission, and it redirects existing taxes to be able to focus on roads.
Our transportation system is currently underinvested and has been disinvested for the past few decades. So unfortunately, we're going to have a conversation with Oregonians about what they're willing to invest in to ensure that we have roads that are not full of potholes, kids that can get to school safely.
Well, time is running out for lawmakers to reach a deal with the legislative session set to end June 29th. Okay, check this out. It is a Rose Festival fan favorite as the Fred Meyer Jr. Parade made its way through Northeast Portland. It is the nation's oldest and largest children's parade, one that's been going since 1936. Kicked off at 52nd and Sandy as kids of all ages showed off their talents, marching through the Hollywood District and wrapping things up at Grant High School. The Grand Marshal this year, Oregon's Kid Governor Rosie Lenenga, a fifth grader at Portland's Riverdale Grade School.